Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and in this video we are going to break down the Rukka Shield-R Jacket and Pants available at RevZilla.com. So if you're not familiar with Rukka, they have quite the reputation of throwing the kitchen sink at their apparel and giving you absolutely top-of-the-line quality gear that's pretty much going to get you through any riding scenario. And the Shield-R is now the top of the line in their jacket and pants combo for long-distance touring riders. The jacket is going to come in around the $1,400 price point, and the matching pants come in around $1,100. We're talking about premium materials like Gore Pro Layer 3, Armor Core, Tech, Outlast, and we're going to get into what all of that means as we break this down. The one thing to note here is that this is going to use temperature regulating Outlast material. Outlast is known, if you start to overheat, it actually absorbs the heat to help cool you down. If you begin to cool down, it actually releases that heat back into your body, again, keeping you warm. So if you're looking for something that's more of a standalone base layer, mid-layer design, you would want to take a step down to the Reeler. The Reeler is going to have about a $1,300 price tag, but that's where you're going to get into, a standalone mid-layer to that. You're going to lose things like the Tech and a bit of the extra, niceties that we're going to see here from a protection standpoint. But again, that gets you into your own mid-layer. For those of you out there looking for something that is a little bit more comfortable, a little bit singular in design, you don't have to worry about that mid-layer unless you're really going crazy cold weather. The Rukka Shield-R is going to be something you want to consider. Again, think of that top premium touring rider. The only thing that we're really going to see that's going to come close to this is some of that more top-of-the-line climb gear that we're seeing out there on the market as well. This is really aimed for those of you out there in that touring avenue, and I say that because this is something you could use on an adventure bike, in more of that upright position, but it's not something you would necessarily take off-road because it's not going to give you that comfort and mobility when you are riding off-road. So let's start with the top and we'll work our way through this, but I do want to hit sizing off the bat. So Mr. Brandon Wise is my model. Now you know Brandon because he's normally the person up here telling you about gear, but today he's looking pretty for you so you can see exactly what this Rukka gear looks like on someone. He weighs in at about 170 pounds, stands at 5'11", and has a 38.5-inch chest. He measures his pants in a size 32 around the waist, typically wears his 32. He's wearing a size 50 jacket and pants. According to the size chart, he should be in about between a 46 and a 48. He would actually fit perfectly in a 48. But we only had a size 50 here to use, so if the gear looks like it fits a little bit big on him, it does. So I would say that if you're looking at the size chart and you find yourself between two sizes, you want to size up. And again, like I said, Brandon, with his measurements, would be perfect in a size 48. Sizes will range from a 46 up to a 60 in both the jacket and the pants. And for the pants, there are short and tall versions available, which gives you a little bit extra or a little bit lower inseam depending on the length that you are looking for. The main construction for the jacket and the pant is going to be Gore's 3-layer Pro Shell. So this is going to be your top of the line from Gore-Tex as far as waterproof and weather protection. And it's going to be a nice, comfortable material as far as mobility goes without being overly stretchy. It is going to be heavy. I mean, this is a really heavy jacket and pant, so that's one of the things to keep in mind with all this stuff thrown on here. It's going to give you maximum protection, but there's going to be a lot of weight that comes with that. So Gore 3-layer Pro Shell, you are going to have the neck gaiter, the Gore neck gaiter that sits underneath the collar. If you want to flip that open, that gives you full weather protection around the back of the neck, the front of the neck. Brandon is wearing this with the Velcro over top, and you can see nice heavy shield, two different pieces of Velcro here holding it back, and then there is neoprene at the top of the collar. So I like this in the fact that the Gore 3 Pro Layer Shell is a beefy material, big, thick, robust material, but it doesn't feel that way up against the collar because of that layer of neoprene underneath there. So they do a good job of mixing comfort with protection in those key areas. And then you are going to have the snapback there if you like to ride with that in the open protection, getting a little bit more airflow. Pops are reflective throughout the entire piece. As we work our way down the arm, so the first thing you're going to come to, Armor Core. So you're going to have Armor Core at the elbows and the shoulders. And then on top of the Armor Core is going to be Tech. So let's start with what this means. Armor Core is a combination of DuPont Kevlar and ripstop. So it is that ripstop material, but you actually blend in DuPont Kevlar, and it's just a much beefier design than what we typically talk about when we're talking about ripstop. And then on top of that is Tech. Now, Tech is a proprietary material that we're not really sure exactly what goes into the construction on this. If I had to give you a description, think of a rhino liner, bed liner, but flexible. So extremely beefy, almost a sandpapery type feel. Still has mobility and motion to it, but that's just that extra abrasion resistance that does help you slide as opposed to catch. The armor protection underneath here is D30 XTR, and that is going to be CE level 2 protection at the elbows, at the shoulders, at the knees, and the hips. So that's all of your XTR. Now you are getting CE level 2 protection with the back as well, and then CE level 1 protection with the chest. All D30, but you are seeing that XTR armor at the elbows and the shoulders. As you work your way down, you're gonna have pops reflective everywhere on this. You are gonna have bicep vents, and you can see it is a YKK water resistant zipper there. That's why I was kind of catching on me. So it does take a little bit to get that open and closed. Figure out where you're riding. It would be my recommendation, and kind of open and close that before you put the gear on. It just helps. You are gonna have a bicep adjuster at the bicep on this, a little bit of a stretch material there. Now, when you get to the cuff on this, you are gonna have that Gore cuff, which goes all the way down. You can fit that underneath your gloves and then zipper the actual shell on the outside around your gloves, really helping with that waterproof membrane. YKK water resistant zip, and then you are going to have the Velcro adjuster on the outside of this. The material on the inside, a little bit more comfortable, again, in that crux of your elbow where you are going to feel a little bit more, just to add that extra layer of comfort there. Looking down the front on this, very clean lines. Pops are reflective like we mentioned earlier. You are going to have the vents on either side, but what I would say is, Rukka's calling this 4-season. This is still going to be hot if you're riding it in the most muggy months in the summertime. I would say this is going to be a great 3 to 4 season option, depending on how hot you run in the summer months, because even with the vents here, it's still going to limit some of the airflow you're seeing in those hottest, most humid months of the year. Brandon, go ahead and face sideways, strike the riding position for me. Lots of reflective on the outside of the arm. You're going to see that Keprotec material on the elbow there as well. Massive accordion stretch in the textile behind the arm. If you are using this in more of a full tuck sport touring position, that is going to give you that range of motion there. And then the side zip on this is either a big expansion gusset if you've got a little bit more room in the tummy, or if you close that up, you can use this as an extra vent. And that does help to promote the airflow again in the warmer months of the year. Big side vent here, and it is a water resistant YKK zip. Velcro at the waist on that, just for a little bit of extra tuning if you need to cinch it down a little bit if you have less of a tummy on you. And then popper reflective at the shoulder blade. Go ahead and face backwards for me, Brandon. You can see that liner, and this is the neoprene that we were talking about, goes up underneath the helmet, and then that Gore liner is underneath this collar. That would actually go up even further, making sure no water is pushing down the back of your collar. Big reflective R for Rukka on the back. CE level 2 D30 back protector is included. Again, if you're looking at Rukka, it's really how much protection can they throw at you included in the jacket. So there's really nothing you're going to have to upgrade here. You are getting exhaust vents at the back of the arm behind the accordion stretch, which again just gives you even more room if they're open, if you're riding in more of that full tuck position. Now, there are going to be suspenders, and then there's going to be the strap downs from the jacket. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the front, but Rukka's been known for the suspenders will come with the pants. They are removable, and then the jacket has almost a reverse suspender that you can run underneath your crotch to keep the jacket in place, the pants in place. But again, all that stuff is removable if you don't want to use it. Now, you will notice a zipper on the underneath part here. That is for taking the back protector in and out. And again, that's located at the bottom there. Now, if you're working your way down the pants, little exhaust vents at the back. We'll see some entry vents at the front. Keprotec on the side. Like I said, the hip armor is included, and that's CE level 2 protection over the boot design. Brandon, actually just face me. If you're taking a look at the on the outside there, there's 2 zippers. One is for getting the pants on and off. The other one is for getting that armor in and out of the knee. Brandon, you may now face forward. Why don't you go ahead and on-snap, on-zip. We'll see what you're working with underneath there. So as he's doing this, notice there is a gaiter there to prevent any water going through. It doubles over. So again, if you're looking for waterproof protection, this is going to have it in spades. That is that CE level 1 chest protector that is included D30. Napoleon pocket over on the left-hand side. The Rukka suspenders, and this is really just to hold that extra armor in place once that is closed. You can see there is a full connection zip. And then with the pants, as we work our way down there, there is going to be a built-in belt, so you can cinch that down if you need it to be a little bit tighter. The suspenders are removable if you don't want to use them. You are going to have side pockets, and then as we work our way down the front, you are going to have vents over on top of the knee, and then you're going to have Keprotec at the knee as well. So there's a lot going on here. I didn't even mention the fact that you have got leather gripper panels on the inside of the knee. Brandon, you can go ahead and zip up for us. So for those of you that are looking at Rukka and you want to know where the breakdown falls, the Shield-R is your top of the line. There's really nothing they've left out of this particular piece from a comfort and a protection standpoint. This is the creme de la creme when it comes to on-road touring gear. Rukka's been known for that for years, and they're really carrying it through with their new Shield-R as their flagship in the line of apparel. Now, if you want to hear more about what other people have to say about Rukka, you can click the info button on the desktop or mobile device in which you're watching this video from, and you can read other rider reviews. Now, if you're not sure as to whether or not this gear is right for you, your riding style, or your budget, you can always reach out to one of our gear geeks at 877-792-9455 or shoot an email over to cs@RevZilla.com, and they can walk you through all the different options available to find the right fit for your riding style as well as your wallet. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the Rukka Shield-R Jacket and Pants. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.